Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you for watching. Today I want to talk about some of the early signs that you're going through a Kundalini awakening and how we can best kind of navigate these earlier and sometimes, most times, more challenging phases. The first sign that you're having a Kundalini awakening is like lots of sensitivity. The type of sensitivity where it just seems unreasonable. Like you can't drink caffeine anymore. Alcohol has crazy effects on you. Maybe you like to smoke weed every now and then and it's doing crazy things to you, and you just feel like you can't touch anything. And you're sensitive to other people, to other people's energy. Maybe you didn't even know what like other people's energy was, but right all of a sudden you're like able to like feel environments and just different locations. Maybe your job, you're starting to feel things about your job and your relationships that you weren't previously feeling. So sensitivity all over the board. It could be with your food and your diet. It could be really anything. You just have lots of sensitivity. That's the first sign that something's waking up inside of you, that you're starting to expand awareness, and that can be a definite sign of a Kundalini awakening. Now, the second and more intense sign of an awakening is derealization or depersonalization. Basically, this feeling that you're just very disconnected from the world, that the world's almost like a dream, and it's just like you constantly walk around. I know I did. I constantly would walk around wondering, is this real? Like, why do I feel like I'm not real anymore? Like, what is going on? And it's just like a very troubling time. It can be very difficult. You kind of will feel like you're going crazy even. And the best way to really go through this is just to allow it and to know that it's just it will pass. It does pass, and to not resist it as much as possible, and to just sink into it and be okay with it. It's very challenging for you because for a time it's just like there's this wall put up between you and reality and other people, and you just literally feel like you're not of this world, and you just start questioning things that you never thought you'd question. And that's basically the point. The point of it is to kind of cut you off from everything for a while and to allow you to sort out going inward. Maybe it's the first time you've ever even discovered that you can go inward. So what will happen is the outer world will basically dissolve, and you'll basically just be cut off from it in a sense. And this is prepping you for the process ahead. So try not to worry about this or resist it. It's okay. And it's something that will pass. The third symptom, the third sign you're about to go through a Kundalini awakening is you just get crazy brain fog. You can't think straight. You can't analyze. Like it feels like the analytical part of your brain is churning off because that is what's happening. And if you were identified with your intellect like I was, then this can be very challenging because it's hard for you to like focus, and you can't think very well. It's hard for you to construct thoughts and be logical. And this can be very concerning. I went to a neurologist for this. I thought I had all kinds of neurological symptoms, and by all means, go get checked out by a doctor, go see if there is anything wrong with you. But if there's other symptoms concurrent with this one, then it's most likely you're about to, or you're starting to go through a Kundalini awakening. The next symptom is by far the hardest, and the next sign that I'm going to share is completely unreasonably difficult for a lot of us, and that is like going through some extreme darkness. And this can be like unbelievable amounts of anxiety. Like just I remember I had a ball of burning anxiety in my stomach for months. Oh, I had the worst social. I could barely talk to people. I didn't want to do anything. I mean, this can be severe depression. I had that too. Like, you can't even get out of bed. Like, you're basically, your whole system is getting completely transformed, completely refigured, and you're getting cleansed and purified. And that means all this darkness, all this fear and anger and sadness and grief, it's got to come up, and it can just feel, it is overwhelming. And sometimes you might be moment to moment. I know in my darkest days, I could barely even get up and like walk around the block. I'd get up to walk around the block and I just feel disoriented and confused. And I'd have to come home and just like get in the fetal position and cry and like just tell myself, make it one more moment, make it one more moment. This is also known as the dark night of the soul. It's just this place where you think like, you know, here's normal, here's like suicidal. It's like you go even below what you thought was at a place where someone would commit suicide. It can be very hard to remain hopeful if you're going through this. But the main thing to know is this too shall pass. You're going to benefit from this. This is a necessary part of the process. You need to let this darkness come up. You need to let this trauma that you've suffered from throughout your life come up to be healed. So any traumas you've suffered from, physical, psychological, emotional, mental, spiritual, they're all coming up. That's another sign. If you're going through dark days, if you're having like unreasonable anxiety, you know, like just more anxiety than you knew was possible for seemingly no reason. If you're having like terror come up, sheer terror and fear, God, I had so much sheer terror and fear just start coming up in waves. Overwhelming anger and just overwhelming emotions. Those are all things that are signs of a Kundalini awakening. And when you have a Kundalini awakening, it's going to be unmistakable, most likely. In a lot of cases it is. In mine it was. It's just going to feel like it's different for everybody, but the one thing that's constant is, like a surge of energy. It can rush up your spine. You can feel it coming down into your head through your crown chakra. Shaking is a common thing. I had that, like just lots of pulsations, feeling like you've been like almost electrocuted, like you have electric crawling sensations all over your body. These things will be very, very common. And this is once the Kundalini has really awoken in you. But this video is just more for some signs leading up to an awakening and what it can look like. And these are the things that look like for me. Another one is like just kind of getting fed up with hitting the same wall in life, of trying to find your happiness through an external pursuit, and you can only do it in so many ways. And then sooner or later you realize, oh, that's a limited way to live. And just you'll start coming into these type of realizations, and it can be really distressing and depressing at first. But have faith, hang in there, one day at a time, one moment at a time, one breath at a time. At times you might have to. And know that this too shall pass, and that this is going to be the best thing that ever happened to you. And that you will, at some point, you will not trade this for the world. You wouldn't trade this experience for the world. You just have to open your heart to it, open your mind to it, and surrender. Thanks for watching, guys. If you're going through this, I make a lot of videos on this subject, so feel free to subscribe. Thank you for watching. Namaste.